This is the gentlelady from Texas, Ms. Jackson Lee, for 5 minutes.
Let me thank the chair and the ranking member for a very important and constructive hearing. It is noteworthy, again, I guess I'm often to say this, that we have gone through these civil forfeiture legislation initiatives in the more than 2 decades that I've been here. And I'm reminded of Chairman Hyde, one of the issues that he was focused on, the late Chairman Hyde. And it seems that we have a space where we can find some enormously bipartisan issues, and to listen to an example of a senior citizen's house being taken because they can't stop drug activity on the corner on the front yard is egregious. And there are similar stories that you have spoken to, Ms. West, and so I'm going to pose my questions to you and Mr. Phillips on a different line of questioning. First, I'd like to say that we recognize that penalties, civil penalties, are part of the justice system in some way, and that the taking of things are clearly an aspect of that. We just had the Department of Justice in Houston on a settlement of dumping, egregious dumping in somebody else's neighborhood. It happens to be in the neighborhoods of minorities. And so clearly a tool could be used. If you travel miles in a truck to dump, there may be a basis that punishment is that your truck is gone. You may have rights to get it back, but you've been notified, there are signs, it's not a dumping place, you're dumping. And so I would offer to say that it is a tool, but it is a tool that must be contained. And there must be reasons. So let me just raise this point, and I think you have, this report in just this October 2021 report on civil forfeiture says that frustrating, corrupt, unfair civil forfeiture in the words of its victims. Can you speak to where that is, or civil asset forfeiture is frustrating, corrupt, and unfair? And let me pose my question to Mr. Phillips before you answer, and that is that we are also lumping together a number of legislative initiatives that are shocking to me. H.R. 3446, saying that there's collusion among agencies around regulations. H.R. 788 prevents the DOJ settlements with corporate wrongdoers from including payments to nonprofits. And then H.R. 788 would be a gift, would in essence be at the expense of families and communities suffering from injuries that cannot be addressed directly. So things that would help the American public. Let me go to Ms. West on the frustrating and corrupt and unfair of civil asset forfeiture programs.
Sure. Thank you, Representative Jackson Lee. I would say to your point about forfeiture being a tool, no one contests that if the government charges someone with a crime and convicts that person of a crime with all the protections that the criminal justice system grants to that person when they are charged with a crime, the government can then take the proceeds of that crime or property that's the fruits of that crime through criminal forfeiture. And no change to...
And I should have clarified, and thank you for doing that for me.
Yes, so that's
what happened to a dumping case, but go ahead, it would be a criminal.
That's exactly right. So criminal forfeiture is what allows the government to address property that's actually involved with a crime. But when you look at civil forfeiture, you're sweeping in all kinds of other property. A great example out of California, recently, our clients Linda Martin and Reggie Wilder were saving money to buy a home, and they had $40,000 in cash in a safe deposit box. So you think, you can't get more safe than that. You've got your money in a safe deposit box at a private safe deposit box company. The FBI raided that business and took all of the property from all of the safe deposit boxes, including Linda and Reggie's money that they were saving to purchase a home. And when they got a notice about the FBI's intent to forfeit everybody's property in these safe deposit boxes, they couldn't even tell what crime it was alleged that their property had been involved in because there was a laundry list of possible crimes. So you're looking at a situation where you're facing this, Byzantine process to get your property back, and you don't even know what it is that you're contesting. So I would just say that, yeah, criminal forfeiture is where we should look when we're looking to take property that's actually been involved with a crime.
I thank you, and I'd ask the chairman to indulge for Mr. Phillips to be able to respond to that question that I posed.
I always indulge, Ms. Jackson Lee. Go ahead.
And I thank you, and I think this is an important hearing on the aspects of dealing with the civil asset forfeiture. Thank you so very much. Ms. Phillips?
Yeah, thank you,
Mr. Chairman.
Congresswoman. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Chairman. Really quickly, you asked what could improve these settlements. I would say don't throw the third-party agreements baby out with the bathwater. I think they can be very useful. As I said before, I think oversight is really important. One representative brought up earlier the Equal Access to Justice Act. And one of the things that Congress did recently was it required all agencies that engage in that pay out EJA fees, EJA awards, have to submit that to a database that's accessible to the public so the public can understand where this money is going. Through this database, we have learned that the vast majority of EJA fees go to Social Security awardees who have been wrongly denied. They had to hire a lawyer to appeal, and their lawyers got EJA fees, helping them get Social Security benefits. I imagine that Congress could do something similar with regards to these third-party settlements, just to ensure that there is that disclosure and oversight. Sunshine is the best disinfectant, and I imagine this is something that could potentially get bipartisan agreement.
Thank you. I yield back.
Thank you. The gentlelady